Bismillah, Shaykh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. So we are waiting, I'm just going to wait a little bit for people to tune in, and then we will begin our session inshallah tonight. So there was a little bit of traffic on Nursery Street, and so we arrived a little late. No, I'm just kidding. It's a virtual thing, so. I'm just waiting for some people to join and then we'll start, inshallah. Maybe if we put the link in the WhatsApp groups, people will know that we've gone. It is a little early. The session that we're doing tonight is a little early because we had to change the schedule a little bit. There were some logistical issues, and so we started it. We moved it to tonight. We were supposed to have it last night. We moved it to tonight, inshallah, and we started a little bit earlier, 9:30 instead of 10. So people might still be having their iftar, I think. Yeah, but I'm seeing that we only have 2 or 3 people right now, so I'm still guessing that people don't know that we've started. So I'll just wait until the link is put into the different groups. Yes, I see that they're doing that. All right, I'll slowly begin and then inshallah more people are informed that we've begun. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So last week we started these etiquettes, the hadiths that we have in the book of Wasa'il al-Shia on the etiquettes of fasting in general. As I said last week, these hadiths, they don't specifically speak about the month of Ramadan. They speak about the fast in general, but of course, the best example of that would be the month of Ramadan. So we went to this book of Wasa'il al-Shia, which is one of those books that is the go-to hadith book for those who do ijtihad. And so I thought it would be good just to read off of this section of that book, the book that brings together the hadiths from the 4 main hadith books of the Shi'i school of thought, plus others, but the main, the meat of it is from those 4 books, the 4 main books. I don't think lots of our Shia brothers and sisters will remember these 4 names, Man la yahduruhu al-faqih and al-kafi and tahdhib al-ahkam and istibsar, let alone who wrote them. But yeah, a good sign of whether or not someone reads up and knows their religion is if they know the names of these 4 books, and really if they want to go the extra mile to know who compiled them. Anyway, we have that, like right now in the Shi'i school of thought, we have people, we all know what their books are in the Sunni school. So everyone knows that Sahih al-Bukhari is first. In the Shi'i school, everyone will know Usul al-Kafi comes first probably. But after that, the other 3 books of our of hadith, we don't know, but we know that the Sunni school has Sahih Muslim after that, and then they have other Sihah and other Musnads as well. But lots of times the Shi'i brothers and sisters will know those two books of Sunni school, but only one book from the Shi'i school. Anyway, Wasa'il al-Shi'a brings together these four and other books as well. Um, I see that a lot of people are saying salam here. Salam, everybody. Brother Jari, Brother Zuhair, Brother Bilal, Sister Nurja, Sister Sukaina, Brother Bilal. Will you summarize some key points from the last workshop while we wait? Yeah, that's what we'll do, inshallah. Brother Wasi and Brother Askari. All right. I noticed that some couples have logged in together to just add to our numbers of viewers. Thank you for helping us. All right. Yeah, last week, what we went through a few of these hadiths, quite a number actually. Um, how it is mustahab to conceal the fact that you're fasting. Salam, Brother Salman. Conceal the fact that you're fasting. And but at the same time, if people ask you, it doesn't mean you can lie about it and say, no, I'm not fasting. You want to be humble and everything. You don't want to say it. And so you don't say anything. Or not only do you not say anything, you lie about it. The Imam said, no, that's lying. You can't lie either. So, but in other words, you don't walk around with a big board in your hand. Hey, people, I'm fasting. You don't do that. It's funny. There's this joke where, like, there's this guy praying and stuff, and they're talking about him, about how nice he's praying, and then when they tell him, when they're talking about him while he's praying amongst themselves, they're praising him for like such a good prayer he has. In the middle of his salah, he turns around to them and says, "Oh, by the way, I'm fasting too. Like now that you're praising me, praise me for that too." Yeah. So um, the other day with my friend Said Hadi Yassin, I was picking on him a little bit. I was like, "Mashallah, you're looking good as you're lecturing for a Moment Center," and he said, "Yeah, I'm fasting too." So he was making reference to that joke we have in our culture. Anyway, so how it's mustahab to conceal your fast and not to say anything unless you're asked about it. Then you can't lie, of course. Then we also talked about how um, we talked about how it's mustahab to do that little short take a nap during the day while you're fasting. And there were some interesting hadiths there about how God feeds us and quenches our thirst in our sleep. It's happened to me a lot. I wake up after 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm very tired, but not just tired. I just feel like, I'm very hungry and thirsty. Then I take that next nap, and then things go back to normal. I don't know. There's something in sleep that you won't find anywhere else. Yeah. Now some people, they don't sleep, they hibernate in Ramadan, but good for them. I mean, why not? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we had hadiths about this as well, about taking a nap, during the day while you're fasting. And then you have the chapter about, or the sub chapter that was speaking about providing a meal to those who are fasting and helping them do iftar. And we had like 10, 12 hadith here that we covered. There was a lot of hadith. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you this. When it comes to fiqh and Islamic law, we have this kitab of Wasa'il al-Shia, this book of Wasa'il al-Shia. In this book, usually like a mas'ala will have like maybe 3, 4, 5 hadiths. If something has 10 or 15 hadiths, usually that's pretty cool to have that many hadiths on one issue. So here we had a lot of hadiths in this regard of feeding those who are doing iftar, helping them with a meal. And I know that um, centers throughout Dallas are doing that, and inshallah, and Moment's going to be doing that as well. You've probably seen the flyer as well for that. Inshallah, the iftar, I don't know what it was called exactly, the iftar drive or something like that. So we thank the brothers and sisters involved in that as well. And then we came to this very important one, how it's mustahab to have sehri and suhoor. Yes, suhoor for a person who wants to fast, and not to just sleep through sehri time. That was also there as well. So it was very interesting, how Allah's salawat is upon those who do sehri. It was interesting. And we had several hadiths like that would say that all in all, how it brings barakah, how waking up for sahri, it's help for you to fast throughout the day, and so on. Yeah, I couldn't find my super cool mug, so I just had to grab this glass here, and inshallah next time. All right, now we come to what we want to cover today. Alhamdulillah, people have tuned in now, so I think it's a good time to start. Regarding how it is mustahab if you are going to have sari. Now here we have the hadiths, a couple, not too many, are telling us, what to have for sari. But personally, I'm no mujtahid, but I'm no, normal, like, no, I'm not a person that's not familiar with like the ijtihad process either, of course. So I have my understanding here. It's a very basic face value understanding. I haven't thought it through. But it seems that the items that are mentioned in this hadith that we're about to cover, the items here are ones with, are the items that are mentioned, they're there because of a certain reason that I want to get to, okay? Let's see what the hadith say. For example, it says, أفضل سحوركم السويق والتمر. That Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam said the best sahri to have is sawiq and tamr. If I'm not mistaken, sawiq is something in Farsi, we call it, I think, qawut, which is like a mix of, um, I don't know, like grains and legumes that you grind into like a flour type thing, and to have it with dates. So like that's a lot of calories right there. It's pretty calorie dense, I would say. Yeah. So it's like a ma'jun type of thing. I don't know what they call it in Urdu. So the Imam is saying this is the best sari. So now someone living today, I actually Googled this too in the Iranian websites like Sawiq or Arabic websites. I was like, what is this Sawiq exactly? And there's different opinions on what it exactly has in it and what makes it up. Because we have lots of hadith on this Sawiq, right? So anyway, it might not be a bad idea, even if we don't have access to that and we don't know exactly what it is. Well, figure out what kind of um, calories you find in it. Yeah, what type of food is it exactly? Is it carbs mostly? Is it made up of slow digesting carbs, or what is it exactly? And so at least have something similar, Now today in this day and age, like I know that in the Desi culture, lots of you have something that has carbs in it, and then you also have your protein and stuff. So usually, like you'll hear about the Desis, what they do is that they will have, I think, a lighter sehri than us Iranians, something along the lines of scrambled eggs with some naan or something, or they'll have some paratha and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, there are some who might go a little, they'll go a little heavier. But in Iranian culture, at least the way we grew up, the main meal we would have was at sehri time. Iftar time was chai and noon panir and sabzi, these kinds of things. Yeah. And so it's reminding me of last year Ramadan. Last year Ramadan, in the center, the Iranians would take a corner and they would bring out their mint and their what's it, basil, and they would bring out their walnuts, and they would bring out their paneer and cheese and the bread and stuff. So yeah, it was something they were doing last year, I remember. Um, Anyway, point being, I feel like, yeah, they want, the imams apparently want us to have a proper. It looks like it's a proper meal, sawiq and tamr. The other hadith says that Rasulullah. So that was about sari. This one's about iftar. That the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to break his fast with aswadain. And then the person asks, what is aswadain? Aswad means black. Aswadain means the two black things. I don't know why exactly this is used here, right? But he says at-tamru wal-ma was-zabibu wal-ma, dates and water or raisins and water. And he would also have sari with these things, the hadith says. So why they're called the two black? Oh, okay, now I get it. It's either the two blacks, meaning the two, like either date or raisin. These are two are dark things usually. I thought it was referring to date and water as two black things. Yeah, so either it was with dates or with raisins, it says. Now, once again, I don't want anyone listening to us right now to, from now on, um, I don't want anyone now to go and like tell their kids from this day forward, we are not having anything but raisins and dates. No, 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 people, don't do that. These are high fructose items. You know what we get out of this is that okay, you gotta really take care of yourself in Sahari time. Like, eat some proper stuff. Don't be like, oh, I'm on a diet or something. Eat some proper stuff to keep you, to help you, get through the day, inshallah. But yeah, there are some people who are just not comfortable to have like a Sahari like that. They'll have something lighter. Some people don't want to have anything. Still, remember last week the hadiths were saying try to wake up, at least have a sip of water, like this. Yeah, I really wanted to drink water too, but I just thought it was a good moment to do that. Okay. Brother Taha says it's usually paratha, not naan. Yeah, paratha is not the most healthiest of things, but we'll let this one slide for the team. All right. Another hadith says it's mustahab to wake up for sahri even if it's water. So these hadiths, some of them are repeating from last week's the other subchapters we were going through, because here it's explaining what to have. Okay. Having said all of that, moving on to the next subchapter. And this is one of my favorite ones. We have a good number of hadiths here, like maybe 5 or 6, 7 of them that we can go through right now. And that is the subchapter that talks about istihbab du'a is-sa'im 'inda al-iftar bil-ma'thur wa ghayrihi wa tilawat al-qadr. All right. As I said, this is one of my favorite subchapters. It says how it is mustahab for the one fasting. It doesn't say a fasting in the month of Ramadan, just in general, the one who's fasting. And of course, Ramadan falls under that category. For the one who's fasting at iftar time, it is how it is mustahab for them to do dua bil ma'thur, with the du'as that the imams have taught us, or the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us. And also how it is mustahab to recite Surah Al-Qadr. Now we'll get to the details of those in our hadiths, okay? Sister Fatima says that people in Vancouver are watching me drink water. It's not people in Vancouver. I think you're the only person in Vancouver watching us. All right, but welcome to our program here. Anyway, it says that أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله كان إذا أفطر قال اللهم لك صمنا وعلى رزقك أفطرنا فتقبله منا. Yes, it's interesting. This hadith is from Nawfali, from Sakuni, from Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq. So these two are famous, Nawfali and Sakuni. Sakuni, I'm sure. Nawfali, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that he's also. These are two Sunni narrators, but we have them a lot of places in our hadith books. These are people who, would go to the imams for their ahkam as well, apparently, and would ask them. All right. So Sakuni says, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq says that my fathers have said that the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he would do iftar, when he would break his fast, he would say these lines: Allahumma laka sumna, O Allah, we have fasted for you. Wa ala rizqika aftarna, and we're breaking our fast with your sustenance and rizq that you've given us. Fataqabbalhu minna, so accept this fast from us. And this is the part I really like, okay? This is the part I really like. I find it so inspirational. Maybe, I'm just feeling good right now, all in all, because, it's iftar time and we can drink water and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what it is, I don't know. But anyway, I really like this part. The Imam, the Holy Prophet would say this dua, and then he would say, Muhammad 13 says he's also fasting. I don't know, Muhammad 13, Tuki Hasti, where are you? ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وبقي الأجر. Oh, I love it. I love it. That the Holy Prophet said, what he would say after he would say this dua, then he would say this. Now, maybe he's just saying this to himself, reminding himself and others around him, maybe, that, okay, it's time to break the fast, and we're going to break the fast, and we are breaking the fast. And then he says, ذهب الظمأ. The thirst now is gone. وابتلت العروق, and the veins have been made wet again, meaning That when you drink water, for example, it's as if your veins are now replenished with that water. Once again, my apologies to people in Vancouver watching who are still fasting. وَابْتَلَّتِ الْعُرُوقِ وَبَقِيَ الْآجْرِ. So two things were there, they're gone. The thirst was gone, was there, it's gone. The dryness of the veins was there, now it's gone. But there's one thing that is left and will not be gone. وَبَقِيَ الْآجْرِ. The ajr and the reward of the fast remains forever. In other words, our work here is done. We got it. We secured something that is going to stay with us forever. Subhanallah. Now, it kind of reminds me of, since I'm a very in shape person myself, it reminds me of those people who go to the gym and really destroy themselves in the gym, and they have a sign at the top that says, remember, the blood, sweat, and tears of today are the strength and muscles and gains you feel tomorrow. Yes? What do they mean? When you go to the shower, when you go to the gym, you work out properly, yes? Sometimes for sure you're sweating. Sometimes it reaches points where tears will come out maybe. Sometimes even your hands will get bruised and cut up a little and you start bleeding even. Some people even work out so hard that they throw up. All right? I think that's overkill, but whatever. The point I want to make is this. Think about yourself going to the gym like that. Yeah? And you're doing those reps and you're throwing up and you're sweating and you're bleeding all over and all that, that kind of thing. And then you go home, you take a shower. You take a shower, or you take a shower wherever. You wash away all the tears, sweat, blood, and throw up. Okay? You wash the vomit and everything off. Everything is gone now. But what remains? What remains is the strength you are going to gain after that workout. So all that other stuff is there for a reason, and that is the strength that you want to gain. And then you get rid of all that trash, and what you're left with is what exactly counts. Yeah, it's like shaving off. Like, where's my ring when I need it? Yeah. So for example, I should be wearing this, but this ring, right? This aqiq, this agate, it doesn't look like this. It's like a normal stone. If you see it outside, you'll just probably kick it. You don't think that inside of it, there's a semi-precious kind of stone. So they chip away at it, they polish it, and this is what's left of it, right? Now that I'm showing it, I mean, I want to see if I can auction it off for a good price, but yeah, I'd rather, no, I'll just keep it. And so, same thing here. A person fasts throughout the day, dryness of the mouth, heat, hunger, fatigue, just drowsiness even. You guys aren't getting your coffee in, the coffee addicts out there. And so this all happens throughout the day. But at the end of the day, yes, after you break your fast, like so, what happens is that you're left with one thing. The ajr of your fast is there. The rest is gone. The hunger, thirst, fatigue, all that kind of stuff will go. All right. Yes. Thank you for the kind words, people. I'm just reading comments as I go on. All right. And so this hadith, I would say this part of the hadith is echoing what the Nahj al-Balagha, the sermon of Nahj al-Balagha we covered about 10 days ago was telling us as well. Oh, by the way, like, inshallah, you've been able to benefit from Shaykh Ahmed Mudarris and Sayyid Hadi Yassin in these nights. I wasn't able to tune in completely. I would tune in and out. I had a lot of lectures myself and stuff that was going on. And I'm back from Los Angeles, by the way. Virtually, I was in Los Angeles. Now I'm back. I'm back in Dallas, and I'm doing this with you guys now. So, inshallah, you all benefited from what they had to offer as well. I got a lot of good feedback in that regard. So, anyway, and I hope you guys missed me. So now I'm back. I'll be gone again, though, soon, very soon. Anyway, it reminds me of the sermon of Nahj al-Balagha, where it says, "Sabaru ayyaman qasira, aqabathum rahatun tawila." تجارة مربحة يسرها لهم ربهم. Right? This person went through the day fasting. After it was all done, they had their iftar, all the hunger and thirst is gone. But one thing remained, and that was the ajr. That will stay with them forever. So they did something for a day, but the ajr is going to stay with them forever, and maybe inshallah it even will multiply. And so here in this part of Nahj al-Balagha that I just read to you, the Imam Ali is talking about the muttaqeen and how they sabaru. They exhibited and exercised patience ayyaman qasira for a few days of this life. أعقبتهم راحة طويلة. A long, everlasting comfort and convenience ensued for them as a result. تجارة مربحة, Imam Ali says, what a good deal. A few days for eternity. Yes. This part of the hadith reminds me of this part of this khutbah of Nahj al-Balagha. The Holy Prophet in this hadith is saying, the hunger and thirst is gone. It's over. But the ajr stays forever. Imam Ali says, a few days of sabr, eternity of comfort and ease, inshallah. Okay. Tin roof ice cream for the ring. You're cheating. You know my weak spots. Yes. Lasagna for the ring. We'll think about it. At least the water is not cheesecake, and juicy steak for the ring. Okay. If there was an all of the above option, then I would probably think about it. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next hadith before I get in trouble for just having a fun time here. All right, the next hadith says, تقول في كل ليلة, that Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam said that you say every night of Shahr Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, when you're doing iftar, عند الإفطار إلى آخره, until the end of the night. So this is something that one can keep reciting, and it says, Alhamdulillah الذي أعاننا فصمنا. The one, all praise is due to the one who helped us and gave us that strength to fast, and we were able to fast. وَرَزَقَنَا فَأَفْطَرَنَا, and gave us sustenance and rizq, and as a result we were able to do iftar as well. Allahumma taqabbal minna, accept from us, O Allah, وَأَعِنَّا عَلَيْهِ, help us to do it, continue doing it. سَلِّمْنَا فِيهِ, keep us healthy in it. وَتَسَلَّمْهُ مِنَّا, and accept it from us, take it from us, this fast that we are offering to you. فِي يُسْرٍ مِنْكَ وَعَافِيَةٍ. Alhamdulillah alladhi qada anna yawman min shahr Ramadan. All praise is due to the one who ended one more day of Ramadan for us. That's another check mark that you have on your little chart. Where is it? This Play Pure chart that I printed out from my daughter. It was here last night. She took it, I think. Yeah. I don't know if you all have heard of Play Pure, but I would definitely check it out and support them. They are making things for children. I don't remember exactly all the details. There's like a ton of things that they're doing for kids and to keep them busy with halal entertainment. So look into that. So anyway, we have a chart that we printed out from PlayPure, where there's little boxes like, okay, in Ramadan, these are the things that little Sarah is gonna do, and so she checks them off one by one every day that she's doing them, whether it's Quran, whether it's spending time with the family, whether it's reading books, and so on. Now here, every day that passes, the Imam is saying, thank you, O Allah, for ending another day for us that we were able to fast in. Check mark. Check mark. All right. Each of these boxes later on that's checked is going to bring about rewards on the Day of Judgment, like the juicy steak and the water that is not cheesecake and the tin roof ice cream and lasagna and all of that. It says, Shaykh, چه کارها میتوانند اون اجر را از ما سلب کنند. I'm not going to answer your question until you reveal your identity to me. You tell me who you are. All right. Let's move on. It says here, قال جاء قنبر مولى علي بفطره إليه. That Qambar, the servant of Imam Ali, that famous servant of Imam Ali, came to Imam Ali with his iftar once. فجاء ب, I don't know how to pronounce this, jarab فيه سويق. So he brought him some sawiq in a container and said, It says, when the Imam wanted to drink, he said, Bismillah, Allahumma laka sumna, wa ala rizqika aftarna, fataqabbal minna, innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. Similar, very similar to the dua that we had up there in the beginning of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That, oh Allah, for you we have fasted, and with your rizq we are breaking our fast, so accept this fast from us. You are the all-hearing, all-knowing. So let me tell you, those of you who might want to remember this dua, it's not very hard. Allahumma laka sumna wa ala rizqika aftarna fataqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. You can find this in Mafatih al-Jinan. Go down to the part where it says, where it's talking about, where is it? Yeah, what is mustahab to do in the nights of Ramadan. So not in the beginning of this section of Ramadan completely. No, you have to actually go into that section. You go down to this, it says the second subsection, Ma yustahab ityanuhu fi layali shahr Ramadan. What is mustahab to do in the nights of Ramadan. Right there in the beginning, the first one, it says in Mafatih, it says, Al-awwal al-iftar. So like that's one mustahab, man. We all got that under our belts. But there he talks, he adds some conditions though, some things that will make it even better, that we'll get to the hadiths of that. But the point I'm trying to make is that when you go to the third amal of the nights of Ramadan, the general amal of the nights of Ramadan, it says to do dua when you want to break your fast, with the du'as that have come in our hadiths, like this one, Allahumma laka sumtu wa ala rizqika aftartu wa alayka tawakkaltu. Either this one, which means, oh Allah, I fasted for you and with your rizq I broke my fast and I do tawakkul and rely on you. Or it brings the other one. He says, Bismillah, Allahumma laka sumna wa ala rizqika aftarna fataqabbal minna innaka anta as-sami'ul alim. That's the same one that we just read in this hadith. You see, Mafatih got it from here. Remember I was saying how important this book is. Wasail al-Shia is the hadith book that we're reading off of. There's also another one that says the first bite that you want to take, right? You say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya wasi' al-maghfirah, ighfirli. Ya wasi' al-maghfirah. Oh, the one who has like the most encompassing forgiveness, forgive me. And then you take the bite, right? I think these are very easy to do. Small things that do wonders, I would say. All right. So the brother was asking, what if there's so much sawab? How do these sawab? Sometimes we lose these sawabs that we gain as a result of practicing these things. I think it's pretty obvious. Disobeying Allah and doing sin and guna, that's what is going to get rid of these things. So a person does these, they should try their best to not to mess things up with their sins. All right, let's move on now. More hadith in this regard of doing dua. It says, we have two hadith here. يُسْتَجَابُ دُعَاءُ الصَّائِمْ عِنْدَ الْإِفْطَارِ دَعْوَةُ الصَّائِمْ تُسْتَجَابُ عِنْدَ إِفْطَارِهِ. There's two different hadiths. They're saying the same thing. That the one who does dua when it's time to break the fast, that dua is also answered. So we all know that there are some times no, she's asking, spell the book name. She's talking about Mafatih al-Jinan, I think. There are different times that they say dua is accepted more than others. Not more than others, but it's more likely that it is answered then. For example, عند نزول المطر, when it's raining, or after salat, the 5 daily prayers we have. One of them is عند الإفطار, when a person wants to break their fast. Yes, there are other hadiths here too. This one I also like. من قرأ إنا أنزلناه عند فطوره وعند سحوره كان فيما بينهما كالمتشحط بدمه في سبيل الله. That The one who recites in the Surah Inna Anzalna when they're doing iftar or when they're having their sahri, this person is a person that is as if is in his own blood, who has lost their life in the way of God, like a shaheed. All right, so that shows how great this is. So, while you're warming up that sahri in the microwave, and or while you're making that nice omelet, man, I remember back in the day, when I would go to Toronto a lot, there's a family that I used to stay with more, and they would make omelets at Saturday time. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was hard to finish though. It was like a bunch of cheese in the middle of that thing oozing out, and then it was like 5 or 6 eggs or something. It was pretty dense, and like bell peppers and all the good stuff. We all like bell peppers, right? Anyway, while it's warming up or while you're making that omelet, recite Inna Anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. Recite Suratul Qadr. Why not? Why not? These are things you don't want to miss out on. The little things that do wonders, inshallah. All right, let's move on to the next sub-chapter. Let me just make sure that we're not skipping any questions. It says, Sheikh, my mom makes dua during iftar that goes pretty long. And it's like more than 5 minutes after it's iftar. Is this discouraged? Not necessarily discouraged for her, unless it might be better to not if you're keeping others from breaking their fast, then that's something else. We'll get to some hadiths about that as well. How important it is to not make others wait when it's iftar time. We'll get to those inshallah. But all in all, yeah, I mean, just doing dua for yourself, there's no problem with that, even if it takes more than that. I know that some people say, yeah, when you're not supposed to fast after iftar. That's true, but that doesn't mean you have to necessarily break your fast, eat something or drink something right at iftar time. Yeah. Some people think that, if it's wajib to break if it's not allowed, you're not allowed to fast during the night, because in Islam we don't have that. We don't have fasting at night. And so the fuqaha, the Islamic legal jurists, they'll say that, yeah, it's not allowed to fast during the night, even a little bit of it. So when iftar time comes, everyone knows that their fast has ended. But is it necessary to necessarily break it now and eat something? No, you can do other things. You can wait a little bit, right? And so doing dua is fine. It's perfectly fine, as long as it's not affecting others. My mom's duas are so long during iftar as a Sunni that we eventually end up breaking it at the Shia time. Yeah. No, so let me just say this, by the way, now that you brought this up. If you're Shia, you're not allowed to break it at the Sunni time. I know you're not. You're just saying something here, but I just remembered that this is something that some people ask sometimes. The people out there who might have Sunni friends, or one or two of their parents are Sunni maybe, and stuff like that. Yeah, we have to still break it at Maghrib time according to our marja right now. Yes, there is a difference of opinion amongst the maraja, but right now the mainstream and majority, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, is with the Maghrib time that the Shi'is have, which is like 15-20 minutes after the sun, after actual sunset. Yeah, Ayatollah Bahjat, he believed sunset was Maghrib, and there are some others who might believe in that too. But right now, the prevalent opinion apparently is this one, the one that is like 15-20 minutes after. All right, let's move on. Next subchapter. This one's pretty cool. How it is mustahab to do your salat first before iftar, unless there are some people waiting for you, or if tanaza'ahu nafsuhu ilayh, your nafs is fighting you, like trying to get you to go and eat first. I guess what he means is that that wording is not used in the actual hadith. So let's go to the actual hadiths. He's come up with these titles of these subchapters. So we have to see what the hadith's wording exactly are. Yeah, so brother here is asking, isn't reciting Maghrib and Isha while you're fasting mustahab? Yeah, exactly, it is. That's what we're about to get to. Yeah. So when I say you're not supposed to fast after Maghrib, let me explain that again so people don't misunderstand here. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily have something, eat something before your salat. and then do your salat. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant is your intention to fast ends. Your intention to fast is now ending, at Maghrib time. Now, am I going to eat something or drink something? No, it's better to wait and do your salat and then break and then have something to eat or drink. We'll get into the hadith and we'll get into more explanation for that here. Let me just check this message that I'm getting here. Oh, okay. So, yeah, someone has messaged me here saying that, yeah, Sayyid Sistani has an obligatory precaution that Maghrib is 15 minutes after. Yeah, so I was aware of that. That's what I meant, that, the prevalent, I didn't want to bring this up. The obligatory precaution with Sayyid Sistani, I know about that, is that, but that's obligatory precaution. And there are, as I said, there are some marajit today as well. I don't want to get into it, that might believe in the Maghrib of ghurub and sunset. But right now, the more famous practice that everyone has is the one that's 15, 20 minutes after. Yes, thank you for that. The iman, though, to do prayer before eating. Yeah, it is. Or sometimes you have no choice because you're the sheikh. All right, so now, the first hadith says that Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq was asked about iftar qabla as-salah or ba'daha. That when we're doing iftar, should we do iftar before salat or after salat? He said, إنه قوم أن يحبسهم عن عشائهم فليفطر معهم. If there are people waiting for this person, which is pretty cool, it shows that there is this thing of people will get together to break bread together over and have iftar together. And so the Imam is saying, if there are people that are waiting for this person to come and have iftar with them, and him or her praying first means that they're going to have to wait for him or her to come, that means that they're going to have to wait 10, 15 minutes extra. All right? Don't do that, he says. Don't do that to those people and go and have iftar with them. وَإِنْ كَانْ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ فَلْيُصَلِّ ثُمَّ لْيُفْطِرْ. But if it's anything other than this, it's better if you pray first and then break your fast. I don't know. Personally, sisters and brothers, yeah, there's a reason why I'm not saying names and then the brothers put the names up there. Okay. There's a reason why, for me personally, for me personally, I feel like really, like when that mouth is really dry and you still pray with it, I feel like there's a lot of sins that are dropped and are erased as a result of that. Like those last moments, I really want to prove myself to Allah. But this is something extra. I am never, ever gonna force anybody to do salat first before their iftar. I'll do that myself probably, but I won't even look down on anyone who does that, right? And it's funny because every year in moment after the lecture is over and we want to make our way, when I have to go on the sister side and lead the sisters Jama'ah, um, when I'm walking out from the lecture, I see all the people like running around and just having their iftar right before the salat begins. I see you, right? And so that's okay. That's perfectly fine. You fasted all day. When Allah has allowed it, I'm not, and me or anyone else has no right to get in the way of it. But yeah, we do have some hadiths that if you can, do so. So number one condition that I think you can say that the Imam put for us in this hadith is that if there are not other people waiting, in a way that they're gonna not eat until you come. Like sometimes they're waiting for you, but they start eating anyway because they know you're cool with it, and they're here every day. It's your mom, it's your dad, somebody, your brother, sister, whatever. They're waiting for you to come too, but they're gonna start. Yeah. Then I mean, I would say that's fine. For me personally, I don't pray first at home because I'm a very spiritual person. I pray first because I know after iftar, it'll be harder for me to do namaz. So yeah, that's me. Praying first, brother says, praying first makes the food taste better. Plus, you don't need to eat iftar and dinner before you pray anyway. You can eat a date and drink some water if you're really struggling. Yeah, I agree. I agree. If you have a little bit of that, you really, by the time your body actually has time to understand what's going on while you're praying. Okay, the body's working on that 1 or 2 dates in water, right? But what we do, what I do, or like we do zone to ourselves, to our bodies sometimes. For after we do our namaz and everything, we sit there and we just dump everything on there. The body's like, what's going on? Anyway, that's also something you can do. Slowly, if you want to. But all in all, if you can, it's very encouraged to pray first and then have anything. It says here, عن أبي جعفر عليه السلام, Imam al-Baqir, في رمضان تصلي ثم تفطر. In Ramadan, pray first and then break your fast, unless you're with a group of people who are waiting for iftar. If you are eating, or if you're having iftar with others, then no, don't fall behind, and do iftar with them and then pray. I love this religion, people. I love this religion. All right, super religious man religion is one thing, who will sacrifice everything and everybody just to make sure the salat is on time. But this religion that we call Islam, that the Muslims have, yeah, this religion says try your best to always pray on time. But look, if there are cases like these, no, go have iftar first with the people. Yeah, don't you love this religion? Yeah, I do. All right, it's not easy. Fasting's not easy, but we still love this religion. You know why? Because we have sabr for ayyaman qasira, aqabathum rahatun tawila. Yeah, it's these few days, and then it's eternity of bliss, inshallah. وَإِلَّا فَابْدَأْ بِالصَّلَاةِ. If no one's waiting for you though, he says, pray first, Imam al-Baqir. And then this person asks, وَلِمَ ذَلِكَ? Why? He says, because you have two wajib things that have come your way. One is iftar, one is salat. So begin with the more important one, which is salat. If no one's around and you're on your own and you have to choose between the two, choose the better one of the two. Which one's better? Salat is better. Yeah. And he says the fact that you pray first while you're fasting, and then your salat is recorded, and then you end it with the fast, that's better for me. That's what I like more to see in you. That's Imam al-Baqir. Another hadith, يستحب للصائم إن طوي على ذلك أن يصلي قبل أن يفطر. So we have another condition here. So far we had one condition, there's people waiting. Another condition in these hadiths is if you're not strong enough. If you're feeling weak, it's just too hungry, it's just too much. It's just too much to pray first before I fast. Because at the end of the day, it's very important to try your best to focus in salah. When you're hungry to that extent that you're going to speed through your salat, then no, have something first. As Brother Askari said, have a date or two with some water. That should get you going, and then do your salat, and then have the rest of your what do they call it, 5-course meal after that, inshallah. And your watermelon and your pakora and your biryani and nahari and all that stuff. Yeah, let's act like those YouTube videos. Comment below, what did you have for iftar today? I watch like a ton of messages come. All right, let me see. We have some questions or comments here. Sometimes drinking water too fast at iftar causes so much bloat, it's hard to pray. True. Yes, the other brother who's typing in Farsi, who I don't know who he is, he's saying that, wow, look at how much our faith pays attention to the ijtima, society. So that dua, another question. So that dua when breaking the fast can still be said before salat, since intention of fast is over? I would say no. I would say those du'as are for when actually you're about to break your fast. The food is in front of you. That's what I would say. The intention of fast is over, but those hadiths are talking about the time where you actually want to eat. Okay. All right. Next hadith says, إنك إذا كنت تتمكن من الصلاة وتعقلها وتأتي على جميع حدودها قبل أن تفطر فالأفضل أن تصلي قبل الإفطار. The Imam here, he says, If you can pray your salat with all the good, and you understand what you're saying, and you're bringing it with all of its conditions, and you're doing it properly, then yeah, pray first, or else do iftar first, man. You don't want to waste a salat and lose a salat. It's interesting, once again, that each of these salats has value. For us, we think about it like, let's say someone lives 100 years and they turned baligh when they were 10, 90 years. Right? Let's, to make it, an even more even number, let's say someone lives 110 years and they were baligh since 10. Just saying, assuming. So that means 100 years of bulugh they have. 100 years times 5, so times 365 equals 36,500, I would say, days. Yeah. Times 5, that's how many salats we do in our lifetime. That's a lot of salats. 336,500 times 5 gives you 1,500,000 something, I don't know, 1,000, whatever. Think about it. All these salats, okay, who cares if one of them isn't done properly? The Imam is, look, he's so meticulous here. And he says, look, if it's going to mess up your salat, do iftar first. I don't want you to miss out on this one. That shows every salat counts. I'm talking to myself first. Where's that mirror? Where's that mirror? I'm talking to myself right now, right? Don't take any one of the 5 salats for granted. Make the most of every single one. The Imam is saying, look, if you can't understand what you're saying, you can't do it properly. No. Have something first, and then break it, and then do your salat. Excuse me. وإن كنت ممن تنازعك نفسك الإفطار وتشغلك شهوتك عن الصلاة فابدأ بالإفطار. It's interesting. The Imam says, if it's just the desire to eat and the urge to eat, not even that you're weak or not, you don't have enough energy. No, let's say you have all the energy in the world, but you're just hungry and you just want to have something, and the smell of that steak, people sending their pictures today, they sent steak pictures. May God forgive them. And so when you're sending these pictures and showing us what you're having, yes, then if you're there while it's cooking, the smell has taken over the whole house. And it says here, the Imam says that your desire and urge really is pulling you to eat first. The Imam says, if that's what's distracting you, even then, go eat first. Don't mess up the salat. Wow. Goes back to what we were talking about again. What a well-rounded religion, man. All right. The Imam ends with this, though. I'm skipping some parts. He says, just one thing, don't do this to the point that you eat until the time of salat ends and your salat becomes qada. Well, of course, we all know that, but the Imam is afraid that you, O person who made that steak today and you sent that picture to me, you're gonna be having such a good time. As a matter of fact, he sent it. He's a very slow eater, the one who sent it. I don't know if he's watching right now or not, but you're a slow eater. You're taking pleasure in that thing, and salat time ends. You got to be careful about that. But yeah, that's never gonna happen, inshallah. All right. Let me see here. All right, no questions yet. The water in the glass is so small, yet water is never finished. Yes, that's called barakat. Yes, thank you. Please make sure to explain how much thawab it is to bother one's mom during the fast for our younger audience. Guaranteed Jannah. How much thawab it is to not bother one's mom. Not to bother, come on. Moment Center have steak for iftar? No, we never had iftar steak in Moment Center. Yeah, and no, it's not our meals either. These are pictures that come my way. I don't even know how to make steak. All right, let's move on to the next subchapter now. Let's move on to the next subchapter. There's comments coming in on my WhatsApp and stuff. It makes me laugh. Okay, this next subchapter, and this is an important one. Let me pull up Ayatollah Sistani's book here real quick. Mas'ala 2111 of Risale Jami'. There's a mas'ala, and this mas'ala, the hadiths for it are here in Wasa'il al-Shia. So if you want to know If where Al-Sistani and other Maraja get this fatwa from, it's from these hadiths here. The hadiths regarding breaking your mustahab fast. Breaking your mustahab fast. If another mu'min offers you something, yes, once again going back to the well-roundedness of our faith and how much importance is put on this brotherhood and making a mu'min happy. Of course, if it doesn't entail Allah's dissatisfaction, of course. All right, so let's get into them. There's a lot of hadith in this subchapter, by the way. I never thought this would be the case. I thought maybe we have one or two hadiths in this regard. We have like 10, 12 hadiths, even maybe more, 15 maybe even. I won't go through all of them, but I'll go through some of them just to illustrate how well-rounded our faith is, how much importance it's giving to these matters, you know. What we have here is the mas'ala says that if a person is keeping a mustahab fast, not a wajib fast, but a mustahab one, it is not wajib for them to continue it till the end of the day. Even 1 minute before iftar time, if they break it, that's fine. There's no problem. Mustahab fast, brothers and sisters, mustahab, not wajib Ramadan, not qada wajib. Okay, I think that's clear. It says, and he goes on in this mas'ala, he says, but and also if a believer, so this is important here, it says a believer, baradar mu'min, not moment center, even if they don't come to moment center, still, they're your mu'min brother, okay? So if a mu'min brother or sister invites them to food, it is mustahab for them to accept their invitation. Even if it is after Zuhr time, right? Some people might think, oh, this is if it's up to before Dhuhr time. No, that's irrelevant here. The only time you will have that I can think of that it is okay to break your fast before Dhuhr and after Dhuhr you can't is for the wajib qada fast. You've missed Ramadan fasts and you're making them up. Okay, you're making up throughout the year, and so you want to break it. Can you break it? The answer is if it's before Dhuhr time, yes. After Dhuhr time, no, you can't break it anymore. And if you do, there's a kafara. Not 60-day kafara, but I think it's like a 10-day or 10 poor people kafara that it has, something like that. 10 poor people you have to pay, or 10 fasts that you have to do, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. You all know how my memory is. All right, so anyway, it says here it is mustahab for them to answer their invitation, even if it's after Dhuhr time. Yes. So this is the fatwa of Ayatollah Sistani. Let's go through these hadiths now. It says here, عن أبي جعفر Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, he said, من نوى الصوم ثم دخل على أخيه. A person who's fasting enters upon his brother, and his brother asks him to break his fast with him. Then he should break his fast with him. But look at how the Imam says it. He doesn't say he should break his fast with him. It says, فَلْيُدْخِلْ عَلَيْهِ السُّرُورِ. This person should bring to the heart of this mu'min believer, brother of his, bring happiness and joy to his heart. Look at how the Imam words it. Oh my God. Is it just me? Let me have some water, man. Is it just me? Or isn't this just awesome? The Imam doesn't say, okay, so break your fast with him. He says, bring joy to his heart, because that's what's going to happen when you have a meal with somebody. Why do people even have meals with each other to begin with? It's just better. It's just so much cooler when you have a meal with someone else. When you go to the restaurant, for example, with your friends, it's just a beautiful thing. You know, the restaurant part, the friends part, everything about it is just beautiful. And so here the Imam is acknowledging that yeah, this is something nice, yeah, to do. Okay. Brother is saying this is turned into Dars al-Kharij. Yeah, it is. In Moment Center, I've told the people before that we have little mini mujtahids already right now in Moment Center because of the way we do our workshops in the month of Ramadan. The workshops of the month of Ramadan are not for the faint-hearted. They are for the ones who want to be mini mujtahids. So they should enter into their heart, the heart of their mu'min, believing friend and brother. They should put into their hearts joy by breaking with them. فإنه يحتسب له بذلك اليوم عشرة أيام. For this, you get 10 days of fasting written for you because of your breaking your fast. And then they say, oh, why does God need us to worship him all the time? If God needed us to worship him all the time, and the worship we do and the fasting we do is for him, in other words, it benefits him, then he would say, no, keep the fast. I don't care what anyone thinks. But here he's saying, no, break your fast. You got that what you wanted out of the fast, which was the intention. I know you were going to fast the whole day. At the same time, something else came up that I think is more important, and that is keeping your brother happy. And in these cases, it's okay to break your fast. And not only is it better, is it okay? It's better. And so the Imam, he says, after he says this, that Allah will give you 10 days in return for that one day you broke. He recites this verse, Man ja'a bil hasanah falahu ashru amthaliha. Whoever does one good deed gets 10 in return. So the Imam is saying, see what happened? This is what happened. All right. Yeah, so it looks like they looked it up for me. The kafara is 10, feeding 10 faqirs. Yeah, not 10. I'm guessing then that means that not 10 days of fasting. Yeah, I remember the number 10. I don't remember for which one it was. So the brother says he's checked. Okay. Next hadith. سألت أبا عبد الله عليه السلام. I asked Imam al-Sadiq عن الرجل ينوي الصوم. A person has the intention to fast, so he runs into his brother. أيفطر? Should he break his fast? And here it says he runs into his brother الذي هو على أمره, which I don't know exactly what is meant. It seems that it's saying like this brother is taking care of him, or he's maybe his guest or something. I don't know exactly what is meant by that. Does he break his fast? He says if it's a mustahab fast, yes, he should break it. It will count for him and will be recorded for him. وَإِنْ كَانَ قَضَاءً فَرِيضَةً فَقَضَاهُ. But if it's a qada fast, no, continue the fast. Don't break the fast. It says another hadith, when you break your fast with your brother, with your mu'min brother, it's better for you than fasting and keeping the fast, which is mustahab. Another hadith, Imam al-Sadiq, whoever enters upon their brother while they're fasting, and they break their fast with him, and they don't let that person know that they're fasting. Yes, Allah does minnat and will favor that person and will write for him or her the fast of 1 year. Isn't that awesome? You break your fast and still it counts for a year. I love it. Because that is necessary for us spiritually, and you'll be healthy. Both, I would say spiritually and physically speaking. Okay, here we have a question. M Asghar 14. If you are who I think you are, salam and welcome. And I think I forgot to answer your question on WhatsApp that you sent like a week ago. If you are who I think you are. All right. Instead of keeping fast with the niyyah of mustahab, is it allowed to keep those fasts on behalf? I understand. Yes, I think that is okay. I'm getting a little choppy. Isn't getting stuck, is it? Let me see real quick here. Just let me know in the comments if it's getting choppy or not. While I make sure of one thing, let me make a phone call real quick and tell them not to use internet. One second. الو میشه بی زحمت اینترنت استفاده نکنه اینترنتمون خیلی آهسته شده. Executive orders. All right. All right. So I don't know where I cut off exactly. And I'm checking speed test right now.
Your signal is getting better, Shaykh.
Okay, good. They're saying it's getting better. Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to check real quick. All right, I'm going to continue, but hopefully we don't cut off. And I guess that's my cue to end as well slowly because what happened, Bakr?
Shaykh, it was red first, but now the signals are fine.
Yeah, I think it's my internet. I don't know. The internet has been problematic these past few days. So let me just check our speed. I know we're still online, brothers and sisters. I just want to check real quick and see what's going on. It's not even connecting to the speed test. Okay, it looks like we're not struggling anymore. It looks like we're good. Yes, Brother Bakr, can you hear me still?
Yes, Shaykh, I can hear you. It's not cutting out. You're good.
Okay. Just checking my upload speed is good too. Okay. All right. So yeah, everyone can hear me. Alhamdulillah, hopefully. All right. So going back, I think I cut off. It says, can you repeat the last ruling of breaking your fast and sawab for a year? Yeah, I was just saying that, we can have a year's worth of fast and we're still breaking our fast. That's something that, I think illustrates how important it is for Allah to keep the brother happy or the sister happy that we're with. I was once in another city and man, we keep cutting off, it seems. So Bakr, I think, what we should do, I guess we'll just, if it's going to keep getting choppy like this, I think we should end it and maybe continue some other time with the rest of them. We've gone for an hour and 15 minutes anyway. Yes?
Sure. Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So Shaykh, you want to wrap it up?
If you're following my YouTube, I don't know if the YouTube is still going or not.
Yeah, the YouTube is going on fine. I mean,
okay, I don't know why my YouTube gets choppy. Maybe my download is.
Your Zoom is coming fine, and YouTube, I
Okay.
don't with the stream either.
All right. So I'll continue. Hopefully we don't run into problems. Let's go on to the next hadith then. All right. The next hadith here says, لإفطارك في منزل أخيك المسلم أفضل من صيامك 70 ضعفا أو 90 ضعفا. That when you do iftar in the home of your Muslim friend. Now here it seems it's talking about when you're invited to his house or her house and they don't know that you're fasting and you break your fast because they've invited you. This is better than it's multiplied by 70, or some hadith might say 90 times. Yeah, so this is really highlighting the importance of that. Another hadith says, أدخل على القوم وهم يأكلون. I enter upon a group of people that are my friends or my brothers in Islam, sisters in Islam, and they are all eating, they're having a meal. And I have prayed Salat al-Asr while I'm fasting. And they asked me to come, sit with them and break the fast with them. Break my fast and just eat along with them. The Imam said, break your fast because it's better. So here, brothers and sisters, there's something we need to talk about. And that is some people might say, but this ruling only holds for when they don't know you're fasting. So someone doesn't know you're fasting, comes, offers you if something that you know is going to break your fast, but they don't know and they're offering you. Did I take it or not? Well, here, of course, the hadiths are saying take it for sure. Sometimes someone has something in that with them and they find out that I'm fasting and they say, would you please, like, would I still, like, they offer me, they really offer me something. Yeah. Here it seems this hadith is talking about such a scenario. How about this? I'll end when my water finishes. How's that? Now, does this count or not? According to this hadith, it counts because the guy is asking the imam. They tell me, come break your fast, aftir. They don't say tafaddal, ta'ala ma'ana, kul ma'ana, eat with us or something like that. It's showing that they know he's fasting, right? That's why he's saying, come and sit and break your fast here and eat with us. So it seems even in this case, according to this one, it's still mustahab to break it. The one time, brothers and sisters, I think personally that it might not be mustahab is when someone finds out we're fasting and they just come up to us just so that they get some sawab. They give us a date, say, break your fast, break your fast. It's happened to me personally, right? Someone walked up to me once. It was after, I think, Salatul Jummah or something. And I wasn't fasting. I don't know why he thought I was fasting. So he's like, Molana, and he puts a date in my hand. He's like, here, take this, take this. I'm like thinking, what is this? Drugs? Like, what's he smuggling? To me. Like, turns out it's a date. He's like, I know you're fasting. I want you to break it with my date. So like I get sawab for it. Look, I'm not a sawab machine type thing, where like you make sawab off of me like that. I don't think this personally, I don't think these cases where it's just something that's a zahiri thing is just happening on the outside. I'm not sure. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I am not sure if these fall under that category. This is something to ask the maraja. So far, the cases that we've had are cases where the people don't know, or if they know, they're still inviting you because they're like, come sit with us. Like, it's bad that you're sitting across the room on your own while we're eating here, having our steak that people are sending me pictures of as I was talking about. So anyway, I was saying this when we cut off. Excuse me. Yeah, this is something I was talking about when we cut off, and I forgot to finish the story. I was traveling. I was in one of these other cities once, and the brother was moving, and so I was helping them out. That's what us Molanas do. We help out, right? So he was moving, and I was staying with him, so I helped him out. Or I wasn't staying with him; I was somewhere else. But I drove there to his house, and I was helping him out. And like he took me to a restaurant after, and he's like, "I'm fasting. You go ahead and eat." I'm like, "Yo, we're talking Texas here. Why are you fasting on one of the hottest days of the year? 1, 2. Why are you fasting on the day that you're moving? 3, on the day that you're taking me out anyway. You're fasting still? Like, break your fast, dude. Like, this is wrong." And there was a Damasis there, and so that's where we ended up. And I was like, "Yo, you break your fast, man. Like, this is wrong." So it seems like it's for these scenarios, yeah. But once again, I'm not your mujtahid. It's something to ask Ayatollah Sistani. So what Brother Wasi is asking, like, what if your wife like offers you food at home, your spouse? I'm not sure about that. I think it falls under the general category still of breaking your fast if you feel like she really wants you to sit with her and eat with her. But once again, that's something to ask your marja. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, but personally, I think that it falls under the same category, most probably. But yeah, there is a chance it won't, because these are talking about people that are outside. It says your brother or sister. Your wife ain't your brother or sister no more. They're your wife or husband. But yeah, still, this is where ijtihad really shows itself, and I don't have it. All right, so we have the brother says, please bring a jug of water. Okay, no, don't worry. This last part of the water will take long to finish. Don't worry. Others are also answering Leslie's questions. I see. That's good. Okay. Next hadith is also cool. It says, "Man dakhala ala akhi." If a person enters upon his Muslim brother or sister was sa'im while they're fasting, a mustahab fast, tatawwa'an, mustahab, فَأَفْطَرَ, but he breaks or she breaks her fast with them, they have 2 rewards. One, for the intention that they had to fast, and number 2, because of bringing happiness and joy to the heart of that person. It really is. It really makes you happy when someone is eating with you. As I said, when I was with this brother in Austin, Texas, Muhammad Ali Rizvi, yeah, I was upset that he's not eating and he's just sitting there watching me. It's like, what are you doing? Let's eat together. If he's watching this. All right. Another hadith says, now this one is a little different. It's a little restricted. It says, you enter upon your brother or sister, you're fasting, and he asked me to break my fast. The Imam here, he says, if it makes them happy that you're breaking your fast with them, then break it. So in other words, if it makes no difference, then don't do it. Yeah. But the Maraja, like right now, I read Ayatollah Sistani's fatwa, for example, he didn't put that clause in there. So I guess he's giving precedence to the hadiths that are unrestricted versus this one. But I will tell you this, usually, brothers and sisters, the ones who invite you to a meal, it makes them happy if you accept their invitation. Another hadith, my brother, one of my friends asked me to come to break my fast with them or eat. And it's the day that I fast usually. Mustahab fast, he says, Ajibhu, answer his invitation and break your fast. This last hadith, I'll just read, it's cool. It says that Imam Ja'far Sadiq, he said, when your brother invites you and says, eat while you're fasting, so eat and answer his call. And don't push him to the point that he says, Toro khuda, billahi alayk. You know, please, like he has to start using Allah's name to force you to eat with him. Don't let it reach that point. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, someone is asking about the question that I skipped, maybe. Give me 1 second. All right, let me pull this up. Okay, the question is, I'm a CDL driver and wonder if I keep fasting if the company changes my route to go to farther places. No, it's fine. I mean, if you aren't fasting, if you're fasting anyway because driving is your occupation, it doesn't matter if the route changes. Yeah, as long as you are doing this, frequently. I don't remember the exact number of times, but if this is your job, you're usually driving, you're on the road. And so if I understand what CDL means, I guess, it's like, commercial, for you driving as your job, then yeah, just because the route changes doesn't mean that it's a problem. As long as, it's still a long route, which it usually is. The sister's asking, the reward is for the one not fasting that offers food? No. The reward, they'll get a reward, of course, for, offering a meal, because that itself is also mustahab, to feed your brother or sister, to invite them and all of that. That's mustahab too. But no, we're talking about the reward goes to the person who was fasting and broke it in order to make their brother or sister happy or not let them get upset. Do same rulings apply to Nazr fasts as Ramadan fasts? If you broke your fast, would you have to do kafara for the fast or just fulfill your Nazr on a later date? I think there is a kafara, but it's different than the qaza Ramadan kafara. The breaking of Nazr has a kafara if it's a wajib Nazr. A lot of people think they have wajib Nazrs on them, but they're mustahab. They're not wajib. Or they might not even be mustahab, they might be encouraged, but they're not wajib. If it's a wajib Nazr and you don't keep it, in addition to maybe having to make it up later, maybe, it depends on some things maybe, but there's also, I think, a 3-day fasting penalty for that. Once again, if I'm not mistaken, the rulings tend to skip my mind sometimes, but I do remember there was a 3 days of fasting, I think, that you have to do when you break your nadr, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so Jaybird, you got your answer, inshallah. Okay, so that's that subchapter. I have a few more hadiths here. Let me see, what else do I have? Okay, and this hadith as well. Okay, we're good. I have 2 or 3 hadiths left that I'm going to finish with. This is another sub chapter, and then we're going to end. And I thank all of you for, being patient till now. Talks about how there's like 2 small hadiths left. That how when a person is fasting, but there's food around them, how that even brings about sawab and thawab for them. It says here عن أبي عن أبي عبد الله عليه السلام قال إذا رأى الصائم قوما يأكلون أو رجلا يأكل سبحت كل شعرة منه. Wow. That when the one who is fasting sees a group of people or just one person eating, it says sees, that's all it says. Every hair on that person's body is going to be doing tasbih for that individual. Will be glorifying God for that individual. In other words, rewards upon rewards as a result of that. You're walking in the street, people aren't fasting, yeah, and you see them eating, yeah. You're still going to keep your fast, of course. But at the end of the day, you might get a little tempted, or you might feel like, man, I wish I could have some of that, or something like that. It says every hair on your body does tasbih of Allah. Next hadith and final hadith. ما من صائم يحضر قوما يطعمون إلا سبحت له أعضاؤه وكانت صلاة الملائكة عليه وكانت صلاتهم استغفارا. That there is not a person who is fasting out there who is with a people who are eating in his presence. And of course, they probably won't even know, that he's fasting or she's fasting. There is not a fasting individual out there in the presence of others who are eating, except that the different parts of this person's body will be doing tasbih for that person, and the salat and the salutations of the angels will be upon this person. And what are these salutations made of? What is going on? What are these angels saying? They're doing istighfar for this individual. Subhanallah. Yeah, so those of us, especially in the West, because in Islamic countries, the whole country is probably fasting anyway. And if there are people who have excuses not to fast, it's not like they're publicly eating anything outside. But this happens a lot in the West, that people will be outside working, or in the street or whatever, and they will come across people who are eating. Just the fact that you're not eating and they are is enough. You are fasting and they're not fasting and eating in front of you is enough that such a thing happens. The hairs of your body, the parts of your body, all of them are doing tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, so that concludes our workshops. We had 2, just like every year. Alhamdulillah, we were able to, the first 2 weeks we would have workshops. We were able to get some good information directly from the hadiths that we have in regards to the etiquettes of the fasts. I think personally, the fatwas of the maraji are one thing, of course, and we always learn off of those. But with these things where we're talking about etiquettes, not the wajib and harams, of course, the etiquettes, it helps a lot. It really is motivational and inspirational for us to go through the words of the Ahl Bayt and see how they've worded things. It just motivates you more and more, even when it comes to something as hard as the fast. Everyone's saying, people are thanking us for the program. Alhamdulillah, thank you for tuning in on a Sunday night like this. We don't have any more workshops planned. Inshallah, for the next couple of weeks, Maulana Beg is going to be having programs. I also have programs in other cities as well. But I want to say one thing, that I will, inshallah, will be trying to plan a workshop for ahkam of zakatul fitrah and all those things. Usually every year we cover these because people, once again, will have questions. I don't blame them. Although we cover it every year, I don't blame them, because even I forget the details of those as well. And so it's good to do a review of that. If the brothers and sisters want that, inshallah, I think they do. We'll go through all of that as well, so that we can make sure that even our zakatul fitrah is in accordance with the rulings of our maraji. Once again, I thank all of you for tuning in. Make sure to make the most of the upcoming programs as well. And I also, as I've said before, we've been asked to ask the brothers and sisters to help out and pitch in, and also donate to Moment if they can in these times. I know it's a little difficult, but if they can, to help things keep going. They've done a lot of programs so far for the community. So inshallah, that shouldn't be forgotten either. And finally, in these coming nights of the nights of Qadr, please keep everyone in your du'as. Please keep the Muslims, the Shia of the world in your du'as to be safe from all calamities, especially this virus. Do dua that things go back to normal again. Inshallah, do dua for our community members, those of us who are sick and ailing. All of this, inshallah, in your duas. Keep me also, inshallah, in your duas, my parents, my family, and everyone else out there. I'm just being a little selfish here. I'm putting myself in there. But no, I'm no different than the rest. Put me there next to all the other ones also that you are doing dua for, inshallah ta'ala. I thank all of you. Thank you for tuning in and giving us your time. Keep us in your du'as. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Sheikh, for having these workshops. And to the viewers, inshallah, Maulana Beg will be addressing the Ramadan daily program at 7:30. So please tune in to our YouTube channel. We'll be posting the YouTube link in the WhatsApp group. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.